Good morning and welcome to the Bowling University studio from the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kelly Bednar and I'll be your host to this episode of the Bowling University Tuesday Morning Profit Break. The Tuesday Morning Profit Break is an opportunity for sharing insights on how to grow revenue, reduce costs, enrich yourself, your team, and your business. We have another great show to share with you today. Welcome to our new viewers and welcome back to those of you joining us again. Thank you for taking a few minutes out of your busy day. So grab your cup of coffee or your favorite morning beverage and let's get started improving your profitability. Today, we have with us a longtime friend of the Bowling University, Beth Standlee. Besides being a keynote speaker and author, Beth is the CEO, president, and founder of Trainertainment, a coaching and training company focused on helping leaders and their teams grow sales, service, and leadership. You can see why Beth has been presenting with us at Bowl Expos and boot camps and management schools for the past 15 years. Beth, thank you for joining us and taking some time out with our team and on our audience.
I'm excited to be here, Kelly. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, you know, let's get right. We got so much we could cover in such a short period of time. So let's stick right to the whole idea of training and coaching. And I have to say, it caught me off guard. What is the difference between training and coaching?
Well, I love it that you ask that, because training is something that you and I might go to a seminar, a kind of a one-time situation, even on site sometimes, maybe orientation where it's a one-time deal. And coaching, in my mind, is that thing that helps us really grow. I think the training and the education is important, but I think a mentor or a coach who helps you practice, who gives you feedback, who puts you back out on the field and asks you to do it again, that's where real growth happens, you know? And it's funny because in the bowling business, we have coaches who teach lessons and things like that. And I think you would agree that I think you probably taught a few lessons in your lifetime, right? Anybody that has gone to a training camp certainly would grow and get better at the game, but people who go get lessons and get ongoing coaching and feedback, those are the people who really evolve and get better. And so that's how I feel about it in our company. You know, we have all those things. We have education where you can buy a course or read a book, or we have engagement where you can participate in training, or we have coaching programs that are weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, and we really think that's where people who are serious about growth invest their time.
I love how you took something from the bowling side of it, as you a bowler, you're also a very accomplished bowler yourself.
A real bowler, yes.
And brought it into the business side of it, and a lot of us in this business have come from the bowling side, so that was really cool that you were doing that.
Thank you. It makes it easy to understand.
It does. Well, it did for me.
Right.
So my next question is, in managing sales teams, what seems to be the most important numbers to help predict the success of that team?
Again, great question. So the way that we talk about that is in terms of KPIs, key performance indicators, right? And I think that they need to be measured weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually. And I think the things that give the most telltale information would be how many meaningful conversations do you have every single week, because that's the leading indicator and the predictor of, am I going to have anyone to sell anything to, right? And Kelly, I would define, anybody that's read my book or listened to me speak to the point of ad nauseum probably know this definition about meaningful conversations, and that is, I know what to do next. And so if I dig deeper, I know when I'm supposed to call them back, for instance, or I'm going with a date and a time, not next week, next month, next quarter, but with a date and a time. Another meaningful conversation, next step I would take would be, I'm sending a proposal. I'm going to talk to the decision maker next. Maybe they told me, we're not buying your stuff. I know what to do next with that. I'm going to mark that person off the list. So a meaningful conversation is the greatest predictor of sales. What's your close ratio? like in managing sales teams and even paying attention to my own level of success or on our team, if the close ratio is very, very low, and very, very low might be defined as less than 25%, if you were just dealing with outside business, if you were just dealing on new business development, if you were counting inbound calls, it better be closer to 50 or 60%, because it's yours to lose if somebody's called to inquire. So meaningful conversations, closed ratio, those are motivational numbers that would make a sales rep take action. Obviously, there are informational numbers like how much did you sell, right? How much did you propose? So what did you propose but didn't close? Because that could be an indicator of a business out there in the future. If I had to limit, if I thought data needed to be scarce, those would be the 4 things I would pay attention to. Meaningful conversations, close ratio, what did I propose that I didn't close, which I refer to as pipeline, and revenue.
So those are your 3 biggest rocks.
4.
4 biggest rocks.
Yeah.
What would be the next, let's call it the next 2 or 3 rocks?
How many proposals did I put out? Because if I just look at proposed business and revenue, maybe I quoted a sellout event. So the dollars are real big, but if it's only 1 proposal, that would be a challenge. It would be an indicator that maybe I'm not talking to enough people. So the number of proposals I put out in a week could be a good indicator of the results I'm going to get in future weeks. I'm always looking for numbers that will give me a prediction that my business is going to be good, or that I better do something now instead of waiting until I'm over here and trying to make up. I hate to get behind. So I want leading indicators. I think lagging indicators, Kelly, are more about trends, and they're informational. Leading indicators are motivational. And I think that's a way to look, like in any of your business, right? Not just with sales, but in any part of your business, if the data makes the employee take action, that's a motivational number and a metric that could help improve your business right now. Instead of looking in the rear view mirror, like we don't drive our cars like that, right? We don't drive our cars looking in the rear view mirror. We're looking through the dashboard. So that's the kind of number I want to always have out front.
You triggered something when you said this about these metrics and everything going on. How has the climate of hiring impacted the business today? Now, if you talk about all these indicators, well, how is hiring going? How's it affecting us?
That's a hard one. I think that people, and my company included, right? We're much smaller. Our team is much smaller than it's been in 3 years, and so we have to be strategic about how do we jump higher and run faster. How can we scale back up with fewer people? And so there are a couple of ways to do that, and I think it's true in the center too, right? You can raise prices. You can find technology that could do some of the work that needs to be done. You can charge more money, which might decrease customers, which could be scary, because will that keep things flowing? Because we think in the center level, right, that more customers is more better. You like that Arkansas English there? That more customers is more better, but maybe not right now. I mean, maybe as many customers or even slightly fewer customers at a higher price would be a better idea. For me, I want more customers, more money, and more frequency. I want it all, But I think with the staff piece, the thing that concerns me and the thing I'm trying to be stubborn with at my company is to not settle. Even though it's hard right now and our staff is skinny, I don't want the wrong person. I need the right person, and as Bart would say, I need the right person in the right seat doing the right things at the right time. I may have taken a little liberty there, but I appreciate the way. I think that's so important. I'm not going to settle. in my company, and I don't think people ought to settle in their companies. And I know it's hard to get the work done, but when you have the wrong person, they're not doing the job anyway, and they're making your job twice as hard, and then they're making the talented people not be happy that they're there because you got these folks that aren't as talented.
Right. We have to look at the execution on the other end.
Right.
Do you have the staff to execute what the sales team's selling?
Right.
You
That's
can't
right.
be overselling what you can't execute.
That's right.
So that's another aspect that you're.
That's right. That's a great point. So maybe some of the things that you sold in the past, and we did that for our own company, some of the things you sold in the past, you may need to break that apart. Like in our company, we always provided real high-level, weekly, hands-on coaching, and we're backing up and saying, can we do it every other week? Can we do it monthly? Can we figure out how to deliver and people get that great result, but not take as much of the staff as it needed to, which I don't think is different than what's going on site now. So maybe you have to do less complicated things than you were doing before. I don't have all those answers.
Just one final question for you.
Okay.
Will you come back to us for another profit break in the future?
Yes, I would love to.
I'd love to have you. It'd be great to have you there.
Yeah.
As we're closing here, Beth, just thank you for spending a few minutes with us.
Yeah.
It's always great to have you here as a friend, because this may be your first profit break, but it's certainly not your first time with Bowling University.
No.
So thank you for spending some time with us this morning. And there's so much to running an operation, and we've just scratched the surface here with you today. So if you would like to connect with Beth, and you can contact directly by visiting Trainertainment.com or her email at cso@trainertainment.com.
Net.
Oh, .net.
.net. Sorry.
Thank you for correcting me. .net. As we wrap up another edition of the Tuesday Morning Profit Break, remember, when your focus is on growing people, people will grow your business. We look forward to seeing you next week at 10:15 Eastern for another great episode of the Tuesday Morning Profit Break. If you have any questions about today's show or would like additional information, you can reach us at any time at education@bpa.com. Also, you and your team can watch any of our previous episodes 24/7 by visiting bowlinguniversity.net. Until then, I'm Kelly Bednar, and do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. See you next week.